Hey guys, KishiRyuOh here with another video. This time will be part 2 of my review of the deluxe Kishiryu-Oh 3-night set from Kishiryu Sentai Ryusoulger. As I said in the last part, this will be used to show you guys some example combinations or example alternate combinations you can make using the parts from Kishiryu and the 3-night set. So, let's get started. To start, we'll take a look at some combinations that make use of primarily the Kishiryu themselves, without changing it to Kishiryu-Oh. So for the first combination, let's start by removing the drills and cannons from Tiramigo. And we'll come down to the bottom, and press and hold the button, but this time instead of swinging the legs backwards, we'll instead swing them forward until they lock into place here, right by the head. Then, we'll take the cannons and place them up here and here. Attach the drills here and here. And already, we have an alternate mode. Now this one doesn't have an official name, but I've personally dubbed this Kishiryu-Oh Tank. Now to this, we can actually add on the other two. We'll just bring those in. We'll attach the back ports to the drills here and here. And this creates Kishiryu-Oh Fortress. So here we've got a combination similar to the tank mode of Daijujin from Zyuranger. And it definitely has a pretty cool look to it, where you no longer see Tiramigo's head, rather. Instead it has this long horn in the front, and then, of course, we got the cannons up top, his fists here, as well as kind of battle platform going on, thanks to the use of Tricane and Ankylose. Now for this one, I've come up with a bit of an alternate combination, which makes use of the Ryusoulgers. So for this, I take off the cannons and instead place them onto the side ports here. Then take a Ryusoulger and slot in here for my alternate version of the combination, wherein you now have a Ryusoulger riding inside of Kishiryu-Oh Fortress, which I think looks cooler because it actually makes use of the scale between the Ryusoulgers and the Kishiryu for more variant combination. Now, of course, if we want to, we can also switch in the blue Ryusoulger or the pink Ryusoulger. For the next combination, we'll have all three Kishiryu from the start. So first off, we'll dismantle Tricane and Ankylose, as well as remove the drills from Tiramigo. Then we're going to take the arms and flip them forward like this. Then, take the drill parts, attach them to these points, to these ports on the legs here and here. Then, this side, take the back half of Tricane, place it here, take the front half, and plug it on top. And we'll do the same thing with Ankylose. Bring the back half here, and the front half on top. And this creates Kishiryu-Oh 3 Amigos. And this one's pretty cool because it makes use of the 3 Kishiryu in a sort of combined combination that is more of a beastly form of Kishiryu rather than the knight-like form. And of course it still has the cannons, plus the drills. Although another thing you do would be to take the cannons and plug them on top, or even plug them on bottom. Though I can certainly understand why they would have them like here. Although I think, as far as I go, if I were to make an alternate version, I would instead take the cannons and plug them onto the hips, like this. So we don't have the top cannons. And instead it adds some stuff to the side while still keeping it weighted and balanced. And for our last Kishiryu focus combination, we'll start off with just Tiramigo. So, for this is one that's pretty interesting. So we're going to take off the head, remove the arms, or rather remove the different equipment, then plug the cannons in place of the drills, making sure that the cannons are facing forward like this. Also take off the tail. Then, I'm going to take one of the drills and plug it onto the back, or into the ports on Tiramigo's head. Place it on top like this. Take the other drill, plug it onto the chest. Take the tail, and plug it in to the top like this. And here we had an interesting combination I like to call Kishiryu-Oh Turret. It's kind of like a turret or armored weapons platform. Now this is one where I have an alternate version for it, which involves taking the tail and putting it on the back like this. Then placing the red Ryusoulger up top via this port here to have it to where he's now manning the turret. And we can add the other two on, plugging them back together, and plugging them onto the sides. Right here, and right here. Just like that. That's definitely another cool and pretty creative combination. Next, we have a couple of combinations that focus on just Kishiryu-Oh. So, for the first one, I'm going to remove the head and tail, as well as both drills, and one of the cannons. And we'll mostly focus on the right arm. So to start, we'll take the tail and plug it up top like this. Then we'll combine the cannons and drill. A combination of drill, cannon, drill. Like that. Then plug on Tiramigo's head. Plug it onto the arm using the middle port here. And this creates Kishiryu Kamitsuki arm, or snapping arm. So this one basically turned the right arm into this kind of large red lizard. I've got the tail here and the head here. Of course, you've got some nice biting action. And if you want to, thanks to the way the joint system works, you can take Kishiryu-Oh's head, or Tiramigo's head rather, and replug it in like this for a straight-on biting action. For the other combination, we'll still keep the tail off. This time plug back in the head, as well as the drills. Then we're going to take the two cannons and plug them together, as well as the tail on the end. And plug it onto the left arm, like so. And then we have Kishiryu-Oh Tail Whip. And of course now we're using Tiramigo's tail as this large whip weapon, which definitely is quite effective. Then we'll get to the combinations focusing on Kishiryu-Oh 3 Knights. For the first one, we're basically going to remove all of the armaments, except for the head and tail of Kishiryu. Then we're going to take one of the cannons and plug it into the left leg like so. Then, let's see, I'm going to take the back half of Tricane, plug it onto the shoulder like that, and take the back half of Ankylose and plug it there. Also plug in one of the other cannon right here. Then we'll plug in the two drills on the top and bottom. Then plug the front half of Ankylose on top and the front half of Tricane on the bottom. And here we have Kishiryu-Oh Impact. This one is one that mostly focuses on the right arm. It gives it this big weapon armament. This is something that can kind of make use of the spinning or kind of rotation feature of the tail here. Though for one slight modification, I like to take the cannon and move it up to the shoulder, because I feel like having this one cannon down here on the leg is a little bit odd in comparison to all this on the right arm. For the next combination, we'll start with Kishiryu and the other two separate. So to start, I'm going to take Tricane and plug it into these ports in the right leg, and plug Ankylose into the ports on the left leg. And we'll remove the armaments. Where we'll then plug the cannons onto the sides of the legs. And plug the drills onto the knees, facing over me like that. And there we have Kishiryu-Oh Starter. This one gives it added height, and adds basically all of the weaponry to the legs and knees. And it's certainly interesting to have one that's more focused on the lower half of Kishiryu-Oh's body, though that also makes it a little bit harder to keep in frame because of how tall it's gotten. And for our final combination, we'll start with an unarmed Kishiryu-Oh, as well as Tricane and Ankylose separate, with Ankylose facing backwards. So to start, we'll split them up one last time. Then, take the cannon parts, plug the back half of Ankylose onto this one, and plug it onto the left side. Then, take the front half of Tricane, plug on the other one, plug that into the right side. Then, take the front half of Ankylose, plug on the drill here, put that on the left knee, and we'll do the same for Tricane's back half. Plug it onto the right knee, and there we have Kishiryu-Oh Striker. This one is another leg focus combination. This time it's focused on having both the drills here, as well as using the weapon parts from the other two. That's a very interesting and quite unique combination. And there we go. So as you can see, all these different combinations are where the real meat and play value of Kishiryu comes in. You could make all kinds of crazy stuff like what I showed you, or you can modify them or make your own entirely. There really is so much freedom with how the joints connect together, and it really does open up so many possibilities for this and for the future. So with that in mind, you guys can go ahead and make your own, of course, if you decide to buy it. this should help incentivize on whether or not you want to, as this really is where you're going to be getting a lot of the bang for your buck out of this set. So next time, I'll be reviewing the Time Machine Gates mode and the End Ride Watch. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and if you're new and would like to see more, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. And for now, this is KishiRyuOh riding off.